Hey gamers, it's your boy MtG here, back with another Magic video, and today I'm going to be revisiting Orzhov Hero, which is an archetype that hasn't really seen a whole lot of play, and probably for good reason. It's a little bit slow, but we'll talk about that in a minute. If you're not familiar with the Hero archetype, it's centered around Hero of Precinct One, which says, whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. This is a 2-mana 2/2, so it's a decent value in the 2 slot, but the main reason you play this is because it gets you a ton of tokens down the road, as most of the cards you're going to be playing in these decks are multicolored. And today we're just doing white and black. Most of the top tier hero decks have either been Esper, so that's blue, black, and white, and then there was I want to say Jeskai and Boros were kind of decent at one point, but it's been a while since anyone's been playing Boros, or not playing Boros, since anyone's been playing Hero of Precinct One, just because partly because the meta is a little bit faster in terms of getting bigger power on the board, and so you get outpowered in a lot of decks. But I felt like there's a case to be made for this deck right now, because I think Sorin is really strong right now for some reason, and then Basilica Bell-Haunt has always been really powerful uncommon, and I really want to play that again. Do a little hand hate, and we're also going to be toying around with, I'm throwing in one Athreos Shroud-Veiled, so this is actually the only Theros Beyond Death card in this deck, so if you're looking for the new stuff, I'm sorry, this deck is mostly centered around older cards, but we're playing it in the meta right now, so we'll see how it does. I will admit, in my testing games, I've matched up against a lot of mono red, and we really struggle against mono red unless we can draw Basilica Bell-Haunt and get this down on curve on turn 4. On turn 4 so let's say, for instance, if we go against mono red, our ideal plays are Hero of Precinct 1 on turn 2, turn 3 Oath of Kaya, turn 4 Basilica Bell-Haunt, hoping that we still have Hero of Precinct 1. The biggest problem against mono red is that they have a turn 1 advantage because they get to deal damage on turn 1, and then generally they get to deal damage on turn 2 because we're scared to block with Hero, because we really need to keep it on the board for the later turns, and they also generally have removal, with whether that's Shock, Lava Coil, Bone Crusher Giant, stuff like that. They have a lot of ways to remove Hero of Precinct 1 in the early game, and we struggle to get our life gain on board, like online, early enough to have much of an effect against that deck. I've had a lot of games where we really struggle to get our 4th land, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we have 24 lands in here. We should be hitting our 4th land pretty much every game. But let's talk about the other cards in the deck. So there's some things that I changed. At one point, I was running 2 Sorins and then no Kaya Orzhov Usurper. But I've since started running Kaya because against the mono red matchup, this card is very good on turn 3. Of course, Oath of Kaya and Kaya Orzhov Usurper are both very good against mono red because they deal with a lot of small creatures, and Kaya gets rid of small creatures. She gains us life if we exile creature cards from their graveyards. This gains us life and functions as removal, and that's really good. Also, Sorin gains us life against mono red, so those are really good. I upped the count of Sorin and I put in Kaya. Things that I toned down. I took out some Revival Revenge. I was running more of that, and I was running another Athreos Shroud-Veiled at one point, but the likelihood we're ever going to actually be able to play this card is pretty low. We have it in there against a lot of later on like control decks and stuff, because this can be very potent in the late game if we end up there. But generally we're a mid-rangey deck, so we want to be ending the game a little bit earlier, but we do have some powerful game enders with Ethereal Absolution and Athreos Shroud-Veiled. So, other stuff we're running here is Corpse Knight. You're probably familiar with this. It's a white-black 2/2, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, each opponent loses 1 life. So this is solid tempo for Hero of Precinct 1. Whenever we create a token by casting a multicolored spell, this is going to trigger and deal damage to the opponent. So that's very nice. I wish we had a way to gain life with that, but all the creatures that gain life when something enters the battlefield are monocolored. So you have Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, and Impassioned Orator, and both of those are monocolored. We can't really afford to run them in the deck because we really need to be running a lot more multicolored stuff. I would say if we were playing this in best of 3, we would have a sideboard pretty much specifically for mono red and against the aggro matchups, but we are playing in a best of 1, so we do struggle against those matchups. Hopefully we won't see only that. But yeah, our removal suite here is obviously Oath of Kaya. Early on is good for the aggro matchup. We also have Mortify for creatures and enchantments, which is it's good. early, or not early, but in the mid game, especially if you have Hero of Precinct 1 out. And then Despark is actually very, very solid. Of course, it's basically a dead card against mono red, which is, again, one of the weaknesses of this deck. But against a lot of decks, this is really, really solid to get rid of Planeswalkers that are 4 mana or higher, get rid of Fires of Invention, get rid of bigger creatures that we can't really deal with otherwise. So this is really, really solid. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot more. The mana base here is 4 Godless Shrines, 4 Temple of Silence, and I'm only running 2 Fabled Passage. You could probably bump that up to 4, but we only have 14 basics, and we don't have a whole lot of mana issues. The only big issue we might run into is not being able to cast Basilica Bell-Haunt on curve, but other than that, pretty much everything is kind of easy. A lot of modern non-colored costs. But yeah, let's jump into some gameplay here. Foe up is RTFC. Okay, so one of the things I didn't actually mention right off the bat was that the reason we play Revival Revenge and Sorin is mainly to, I think I'm actually going to bottom Kaya because we really need to get to a hero here, and we don't know what we're matched up against. We have a decent amount of life gain if we're up against an aggro deck. I got derailed. The reason we run Revival Revenge and Sorin is to bring back our Hero of Precinct 1 if it ever gets killed early, which is going to happen a lot. Our opponents are going to want to kill it pretty much immediately. We'll play that tapped, that's fine. And Revival brings it back and is a multicolored spell, so if we have one hero on the board and one in the graveyard, we can cast this, bring it back, etc. So you know the drill. Also, Sorin can bring it back from the graveyard, and it gives us whatchamadoodle. Lifelink, not whatchamadoodle. Okay, Loyal Pegasus. I think we want to go ahead and Oath of Kaya that. They're setting up looks like Azorius Flyers here, which you don't see very often. So I'm going to go ahead and Oath of Kaya this. They may be running what? Mystical Rebuke? Is that the counterspell? Spectral Sailor. Okay, that's what they're playing. That's fine. So definitely Azorius Flyers. And that's okay. We actually are curving out very nicely against this deck. We'll go Basilica Bell-Haunt this turn, which is great, unless they have a counterspell, which they definitely could. Okay, well, they play that tapped. It's a scry land, but they only have 2 mana up, so the likelihood of a counterspell for Basilica Bell-Haunt is pretty low. They'd have to have Quench. And I could maybe see them playing that, but that would be a little bit surprising. Another Oath of Kaya, but I think we go Bell-Haunt first. I will be pretty upset if they have a Quench here. That would be unusual for sure. I'm guessing they've got a Brazen Borrower in their hand. And of course, we actually do really well against that, because if they want to bounce our Basilica Bell-Haunt, they really, really pay the price, because they have to discard a card when it enters the battlefield, so that'd be dumb. Okay, Unbreakable Formation. Okay, so this is, yeah, Azorius, like, flying aggro. I'm guessing they've got, what, Rally of Wings in here, whatever is the bird, the Anthem bird. That gives all flying creatures +1/+1. Probably got that in there, too. But we can really start putting on some pressure here with our Basilica Bell-Haunt, excuse me. And we'll be able to get a Corpse Knight out. Hopefully. Fingers crossed we actually draw into a Hero of Precinct 1. That'd be pretty nice. Oof. Staggering Insight is not great. We can actually play another Oath of Kaya to get rid of that. So I'm not real scared of that. We're going to go to combat first. See if that draws out a spell. We definitely can't let them keep the Staggering Insight on here for very long, because it just gives them too much tempo. They get to gain life and draw cards with it. So yeah, we definitely want to kill the Spectral Sailor. My only concern is that they will have mana for Starlit Mantle, which I don't know if they would play that in this deck, but they would have mana for Starlit Mantle or a Negate here, which I wouldn't love that, but you know, it could be in the cards. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do Oath of Kai. I know it's legendary, but we don't really care. Oh, okay. So they didn't have anything to protect it. So we go Corpse Knight here. And then pass through. So they get Fabled Passage. They get the 4th land. They may also be able to flash in Spectral Sailor. Brazen Borrower. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't hurt me too bad. Despark may be a dead card against this deck too. This is not a matchup I am used to. I have actually not seen Azorius Flyers in like months. This is a little unusual. We'll go ahead and go to combat here. They're holding up a lot of mana, so I'm assuming they're just going to flash in Brazen Borrow at the end of turn. But they may also be holding up a counterspell. But Hero of Precinct 1 here for sure, and then we go Corpse Knight. But this could get countered, and that's pretty okay. If it does, I'll revival Revenge. I'll revival it, I mean. Absorb. Okay. We resolve that. Absorb. And then I will actually revival. There we go. That's why we play revival, because nobody wants to get heroed. I'm trying to think through their deck. What will they be running? Phantom Warrior. What the heck? I've literally never seen Phantom Warrior before. Somehow. Seems good. Was this from a... This may have been from like a... What? Why would you do that? Okay. That seems like really not smart to bounce that. Like, whatever, okay. Also, we don't attack because I don't want to attack into that. This may have been from a Planeswalker deck and didn't actually come out in this normal standard stuff. But seems kind of good for a Planeswalker deck. Like, 2/2 unblockable for 3. It's not bad, but the mana cost is a little bit restrictive. I mean, okay. Are they going to have like a board wipe or something? Yeah, they just concede. Okay, fair enough. I guess they flooded out pretty bad. But also, weird archetype they're playing there. I haven't seen that in a while. Gasper Paul. Sick name. Okay, Temple of Silence. Oh yeah, this is good. Keepable. And we go first, which is nice. So Temple of Silence, we get... I think I'm actually going to bottom that. It doesn't really help us until we get Hero or Knight. And Mono Red. Okay. Okay, so, well, probably Mono Red. I'm just assuming if I see a Mountain turn 1, it's Mono Red. Okay, Cavalcade of Calamity. Very interesting. So I'm actually going to go Kaya, and then we'll +1 her... Submit 0, so she doesn't die to a Fervent Champion here. But she will die to 2 Fervent Champions. That could be a bummer. We're already at 3 mana. Chandra, Acolyte. Oh, she dies to Chandra. That's actually horrible. Pretty brutal. Okay, if we get another basic here, we can play Basilica Bell-Haunt, which is very nice. Nope. And that doesn't help us at all. Like, it just comes in and dies to Chandra again, so I'm just going to pass for now. I may have lost already by not hitting our 4th land there. Yeah, because they go another Cavalcade of Calamities. They deal me, what, 6 damage? No, 9 damage this turn. Yep, I go to 11. Am I doing the math right? Yep, I go to 11. It's 9 damage. Okay. Give me a land. We have to shock this in, which is really brutal. But I think it's actually worth it to go Basilica Bell-Haunt because we gain 3 life. So essentially makes up for the shocking that land in. They discard Spitfire. Okay. Our goal is to keep Basilica Bell-Haunt alive. I'm gonna... Really, our goal is to stay alive. But... You did that before blockers. Okay, so we do have to block that. Right? Yeah, we have to block that. We do have another Basilica Bell-Haunt. And then they'd have to... They can create a token... So you go Basilica Bell-Haunt. I gain 3. They create a token, put that on the token. I could maybe take the damage. Oh, I'm dead now. Yeah, good game. Torbrand comes in, and then Cavalcade of Calamity kills me. So that's game. Yep. As I said, we're pretty vulnerable to mono red. If we'd gotten our 4th land 1 turn earlier, I think we could have actually come back in that game because we had a lot of ways to gain life, just not enough mana to do it. And we were a turn behind, essentially, so that was a bummer. Big old bummer. But we move forward, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're not against mono red again. Okay. Very keepable hand. Hero of Precinct 1 on turn 2, followed by Corpse Knight. You gotta be joking, dude. I literally just said not mono red. And what is it? It's mono red, baby. Okay. So we go Hero, and they're kind of forced to kill Hero, but I'm forced to take a ton of damage. So so we go Hero here. This actually means, what is that, a shock? Please tell me, oh my god, dude. Mono red is so brutal. So, yeah, we'll do that. Bottom the land. We need a Kaya's, not Kaya's, wait, yes, Kaya's, Bone Crusher Giant. Awesome, dude. I love that. Actually, Seraph of the Scales is really solid. But we're taking a ton of damage early here, so we go, what is that, 5, 6 damage that turn? 6. So we go to 8. We get another land. Cool, cool, cool. So Seraph of the Scales is a good 4th turn play, but they have 3 mana. And so they can just keep attacking us. And... They can definitely play Embercleave here. And if I let them play Embercleave on a Fervent Champion, I die. Okay, how can I not die but also not lose my Seraph of the Scales so easily? Let's think about it. If we block there, we take 4 plus 1 plus 3, that'd be 8. If they have Embercleave, and I block Scorch Spitter. I think I have to block a Fervent Champion. Can I even win? Wait, let me think about this. So it would be... Oh, Bone Crusher Giant. Another one, okay. That stinks. And we're flooding pretty bad this game. Oh, great. Yes, I love that. I love the flood. Really good. That's game. I'll go ahead and concede to get through this. Okay, the mono-red matchups are really bad, and we're seeing them constantly, so it's good, really good. The good thing, I will say the good thing about playing against mono-red is that the games tend to go very quickly, so if you're gonna get wrecked, you get wrecked, and then you move on. It's great. Well, it's not great, because you're still getting wrecked, but it's something we can live with. Tempo Man 14, so maybe he won't be mono-red. Kind of bad hand. I'm going to mulligan that. I don't like the Desparks early. This is good. I think I keep this and I bottom the Despark because it just is dead until turn 4, and against some decks is actually dead, like against mono red or against pretty much any aggro deck until they play Embercleave, and then it's semi-useful. Okay, Godless Shrine. Hero of Precinct 1. So this is actually pretty good. Because we go Hero of Precinct 1 and then Oath of Kaya turn 3. So this is going to be, I think, it's either going to be Jeskai Fires or Teamer Adventures. If it's Teamer Adventures, Hero of Precinct 1 probably dies to Bone Crusher Giant right here. Oh, it's Grixis, actually. So do they kill Hero, or do they... Yeah, okay, they do that. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so we go Corpse Knight here. Fingers crossed they don't have Thought Erasure or Agonizing Remorse, because Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord is really, really good for turn 4. They shock that in. That tells me Counterspell. So I'm going to attack first, see if they play removal here. No, they don't. Okay. I think I play Sorin into the Counterspell. Like, I think it's going to be Ionize or Sinister Sabotage, but I'd rather save Oath of Kaya for more useful, like instead of just going to face and drawing out a Counterspell. So I think I'd go ahead and play Sorin here anyway. Despite their obvious Counterspell. Ionize. Okay, so this is Grixis Counterburn. A little bit unusual. I mean, I guess it's just Grixis control, whatever. Okay, so let's attack first. Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, interesting. Let's go Temple of Silence. Yes, we definitely want Seraph for the scales, and then we'll end turn. So Oath of Kaya is actually very good removal for Bone Crusher Giant, because the thing about Bone Crusher Giant is he's got this passive that says, whenever Bone Crusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. However, Oath of Kaya does not actually trigger that, simply because it is an ability once it enters the battlefield. So really pretty okay. I'm gonna play this. I know if they play something that makes me discard Oath of Kaya, I'm gonna be pretty annoyed. I may have called Oath of Kaya Kaya's Wrath earlier, and if you were confused, that's fine. Huh. I'm gonna say no blocks because I'd rather keep Seraph the Scales alive for now. I have a way to get rid of Bone Crusher Giant, assuming they don't make me discard it. Okay, so Water Cliffs. Do they go Fires here? They may have Fires of Invention, which would mean... Okay. Let's go Oath of Kaya first. I think it's going to be a Counterspell. No, no Counterspell. Okay. I grant the Vigilance. And they may have, what, Brazen Borrower? No, Murderous Rider. Okay. Fair enough. But we have Afterlife 2, so it makes 2 tokens. And we're really struggling for resources right here. A Sorin would be nice. So we can play Sorin and bring back our hero, Ritual of Soot. Okay. We'll just Corpse Knight and proceed. I'm going to hold Oath of Kaya as removal for Murderous Rider if they play it here. Okay, so we go Oath of Kaya again. Yes. No counter spells. Bye-bye. We're back to 20 life. And then we attack. I'm actually going to keep the card in hand because I'm assuming they're going to play Hand Hate in this deck, right? And I want to draw that spell out now. If they have a Thought Erasure or Agonizing Remorse, I wouldn't mind them using it on empty hand. Okay, so let's play Seraph for the Scales here. This may be played into a counterspell. But if it's not, I do get the 1 damage from Seraph for the Scales entering the battlefield. And then we attack, baby. Okay. Surprised they didn't do that before Seraph of the Scales came in, but you know, whatever. So they're just playing like every card I've seen is just removal. I mean, Bone Crusher Giant and Murderous Rider are both good because they're removal plus a creature, so that kind of allows you to do that. So are they doing Angrath's Rampage, Ritual of Soot right here? That would be a wildly inefficient use of resources. But I mean, it does kind of zero me out if they do that. Okay. Oof. Yeah. So we go Ethereal Absolution. This may get countered, but we still play it because that makes our tokens 2/2s, and then we actually can swing in for a little bit of damage. And Ethereal Absolution is a huge card to have on the field right now, because if we end up coming up empty in terms of our draws, it actually gives us a ton of value because of its ability. And we can exile their Bone Crusher Giant, but I guess that's it, really? Oh, snap, boy.
The undead make great minions, loyal and silent.
Mm-hmm. It's not great. This is one of the few decks where a Despark would be really nice. How much can I? No, I can't do that and that. So I will just Basilica Bell-Haunt for now. Force them to discard whatever they have in their hand, which I'm assuming was something that, yep, we didn't want them to have that, so great. Pass the turn. All they can do is create a zombie token. The issue we're faced with right now is that if I'm attacking into... there it is! Yes! The Thought Erasure into a 1 land hand. Ooh, yeah. That feels good. The issue we're running into now is that they're going to make zombie tokens, and if I attack into the zombie token, all that really happens is that they draw a card. And so I think I let them do whatever and don't give them cards right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to Fabled Passage and pass turn, because I want to use Fabled Passage to strip my land, or not strip lands out of the deck, so we're more likely or less likely to draw them. And then I can exile a card with Ethereal Absolution at the end of their turn, which I will put a stop there. Okay. And the main reason I'm doing it at the end of their turn is because I want to play around Ritual of Soot, etc. Let's get we'll get a swamp. That's fine. And then we'll do that. Exile Bone Crusher Giant. Oof. That hurts me. I think I do, yes. I definitely attack her because I can't leave her on 4 because she could just -4 and make each player sack 2 creatures, and we don't want that. So we'll just do that. It's fine. And then we can start actually attacking after we get rid of her. Okay. They may have a Ritual of Soot right here. I'm not going to block that. I really don't care. But Ritual of Soot is bad because they get to draw cards out of it. So they make the zombie token first. And then...
shine.
Oh, snap. That's not great. Wait a second. This is hilarious. If they do what I think they're going to do, it's kind of funny. Still not great. Yeah, so sack 2 creatures. That's fine.
I do love this death wail.
Resolve all. So they draw cards. But I can definitely kill Liliana this next turn. So I do this. We exile Murderous Rider. It's possible they have removal for that. Do they have another creature in their hand? Or in their graveyard? Nope. Because they're mostly playing instants and sorceries and crap. So let's just go... I gotta get rid of Liliana now. They're probably gonna have removal, and that's fine because I also have that. Scorching Dragonfire. All Gucci. Here we go, Oath of Kaya, yes. Doesn't matter, we kill Liliana before she can do more damage. Woo. Okay, they scryed to the top, which is a bit scary. That probably tells me they have another Planeswalker. Whether it's Nicol Bolas or Liliana, it doesn't really matter. Both of them are horrible. Because they really outpower us in the late game because they're just a control deck. Okay, so let's go Kaya. If this resolves, I will -1 to exile that. Yes. And we can build up a decent exile pool for Kaya's ultimate. Or not her ultimate, I guess. Is that what you call it? I guess the Planeswalker ultimate abilities, sure. Anyway. Yeah, we can build up a decent exile pile for her to actually deal damage to the opponent. But we have to get... that's 3 turns from now at minimum. So they scryed top, then drew the card. Bone Crusher Giant. Resolve. Resolve. We don't have a creature we can exile, but just in case, I'm going to be exiling their Planeswalkers. So we don't want them to have those. And we just got to hope we don't just draw lands from here on out. Oh, that hurts me to my core. Every land draw, it just feels so bad. Because we got they have no creatures in their graveyard. We got nothing. A Sorin, Sorin would be huge. It'd be huge. Because we could play Sorin and then bring back Hero of Precinct One. We'll do that. Exile, where are you at? Liliana. Ooh, they may be playing Chandra, what is it? Awakened Inferno in this deck, which is pretty scary. We do have Despark to deal with it, of course, but that's pretty much it. There's Despark. Okay. We also, I don't feel the need to use Despark on Bone Crusher Giant. I think we have better targets for this, so I will hold on to it. Yeah, and I can also afford to take a decent amount of damage from Bone Crusher Giant because we've been gaining a ton of life all game. We've played Oath of Kaya 3 times. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and exile... Doesn't really matter. I don't think they're going to be able to play any of these. But we're going to do it anyway. Just in case we get a Kaya, we want to have a lot of stuff exiled. And they're running into the same problem I am, I guess. But my one worry is that they've got counterspells. I kind of think they do. So I feel like anything that I play, they're going to counter it. And that isn't good. And we're already on 15, so we're going to keep on exiling stuff. And they're holding their cards, which tells me counter spells. Or at least removal, like they may have a Murderous Rider or something like that. But I don't think they would hold on to Murderous Rider because it deals deals 2 damage to them, which is probably too much right now because they're on 7. Okay, go to my turn. Can I seriously? What didn't I just say like? Oh, I hope we don't draw only lands from here on out, and then 3 lands in a row. Yes, dude. Yes. Okay, we passed the turn. Pass the turn. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All good. We're probably gonna lose, but all good. There it is. There it is. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and Oh, frick. I can't because it's 3 mana cost. So, well, we just resolve that. And we lose our Despark to their 3rd Thought Erasure of the game. And their top half of their deck. Where are my goodies at? Where are my goodies? You know? And I am confident they're holding counter spells. I kind of think if we draw another land here, we just die. Because if they're holding counter spells and we can't put stuff on the board, this guy just kills us over the course of what, like 6 turns? He's just been attacking us down. Okay. Here goes an Ionize, probably. No Ionize. Okay. We pass turn. Hero dies to Scorching Dragonfire. Deals 3 damage to... Yes, dude. Nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is really cool. Exiled. At least we've exiled 10 of their cards. That's kind of fun. Still pretty certain they're holding counter spells because they had to resolve that. Unless they put on full control to bluff counter spells. But they had to resolve that and then they removed it because they know that I have Planeswalkers. They know I have Sorin in this deck. So we go Hero again. Does it die again? Maybe. Okay. If they attack with Bone Crusher Giant, do I trade with Hero? Well, not on the table anymore. That option is gone. Because they have removal every turn and we can't draw anything. Okay, we're on 6. Ooh. This is probably going to eat a counterspell, but if not, that's actually huge. That's a huge play because it's a big enough blocker to block Bone Crusher Giant. It gains us life, keeps us in the game. They discard a land. Not sure what they got. Maybe if it's a Murderous Rider, that's not great. But they could have Bone Crusher Giant, and so they opt. Okay, so they top decked opt, or they would have played it on their own turn or on my turn. They bottom, then draw. So that means they didn't find what they wanted. Oh, but I think they just did. Okay. So they got Murderous Rider, and they can attack with Bone Crusher Giant, play out Murderous Rider, which is a lifelinker, and when it dies, it doesn't even go to the graveyard, it goes to the deck, so... We've been lucky. The last 3 turns, I've drawn a creature. All of them have been killed immediately. But... that makes me... I don't know if that should make me hopeful or frightened. I'm not sure how to feel. Ooh, Corpse Knight. Very nice. Okay, so if Corpse Knight survives this turn, which he may not, I can definitely use him as a blocker. Are you kidding me, dude? They have removal every turn! And so I have to trust the top deck, even though I've top decked four creatures in a row, and they're getting it done. So they've got a lot of ways to scry, and we don't. But they bottom. Fingers crossed they drew a land, and fingers crossed I draw a Sorin or a whatchamacallit. We're on 2. It's not great. And that's game. GG, opponent. Athreos, yay. We couldn't even play that because it doesn't do us any good. Yeah, good game. GG. I'll pass and let them kill me. Don't have anything because none of their creatures go to the graveyard. Or they just don't have that many creatures. So, feels pretty bad. Really bummed that we lost that game. A very long, grindy match. Bad starting hand, so we'll just mulligan that. An okay starting hand, so we'll keep it and bottom a Corpse Knight here. But they mulliganed as well. So we keep this, put Corpse Knight on bottom, and hopefully it's not mono red. Okay, well, at worst it's Gruul aggro. But it might be Timur Adventures. Interesting. So we'll do that. We can Corpse Knight here. They may... Nope, they don't have removal for it immediately. So it's Timur. Okay, maybe Timur Adventures or Timur Elementals. Lovestruck Beast makes a token. I'm going to actually Oath of Kaya immediately. Kill the 1/1. I feel like they've got a... Yeah, Brazen Borrower. So they bounce my Corpse Knight, which is pretty okay. Because we can play Basilica Bell-Haunt next turn, which is pretty good value against them. Got a green mana, Incubation. Okay, so I was a little scared they had Lovestruck Beast. Yikes. Okay, well, we'll go Basilica Bell-Haunt. Forces them to discard at least. But the bad news is they can definitely attack with Lovestruck Beast. Oh my. This is where Despark is really good. Please can I have Despark? Okay, they still can't attack though. Another Bell-Haunt? Sure, why not? So we'll go Sorin here. What do I do? Just ping? Yeah, I guess I just ping Nissa. Keep her down. No attacks. Lucky Clover. Okay, so they are really struggling to find the cards they need. Out of stuff already. So they're just chilling, I guess. You know what we're about to do? Holy moly. We are about to play Revenge on them. That is a spicy place. We want to go ahead and... we want to do that. Then we go, oof, big Revenge. So we're at 56 and they're at 10. Ah, yeah, that feels good. They do have a mass of creatures on the field right now. Yeah. Okay. We'll block one of those. That's chill with me. Are they just like killing themselves on purpose or what? So Corpse Knight, Basilica Bell-Haunt. And then we'll go... Well, actually, yeah. Deal damage to them. No, we don't attack because they can block with Lovestruck Beast. We're a little bit scared if they draw a Lovestruck Beast here. That's not good. Okay, Edgewall Innkeeper is also not very good because now they can draw a ton of cards if they draw adventure creatures. And the Brazen Borrower can kill Sorin. Why are you doing this, opponent? You're just killing yourself. You're actually killing yourself by doing this. I don't get it. I'm really, really confused. I can see that you have no cards in your hand, yet you want to attack and lose your lands. Very confusing choices. Shoot, that sucks. I mean, we'll go to the face because that means if they don't gain any life, it means drawing an Oath of Kaya wins me the game. I'm trying to see if... What happens if I attack, right? If I attack, they go block, 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 and then I'm screwed. So, I'll just pass the turn. That's fine. We're on 65 life. We're good. We're good. I mean, Sorin does die here, but they go to 1. Ooh, they can actually attack with Lovestruck Beast. Fine, no blocks. I take the damage from Lovestruck Beast. I go to 62. Oh no. I think if I top deck Oath of Kaya or a Sorin, I win.
The land fights for us.
Okay, they're getting so flooded. It's kind of sad to watch. Ugh, that's a bummer. If I had drawn any creature, I would have won. Yeah, they gotta block this, and I'm not gonna attack with Corpse Knight. They should double block. Why are you not double blocking, opponent? Please, please do this right. Please be smart about this. Okay, they're double blocking there. That's fine. I'm going to kill. I'm gonna kill the Edgewall Innkeeper because that gives them more value over time than the island does. And okay, so they get 2 1/1s, which allows the Lovestruck Beast to attack, but we don't care. They can ultimate their Nissa, or they can do that. They can make another land creature. We don't care. All I care about is drawing something that kills them. Oath of Kaya, Sorin. No blocks. We can take so much damage. Yes, there we go. That's game. Hero of Precinct One, Corpse Knight, they're dead. Boom, baby. Yes, that's an unorthodox way to win with this deck, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Sometimes whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. If it takes revenging and putting yourself on 50 whatever life, you gotta do it. Well, that's the deck, folks. If you liked this video, be sure to drop a like below, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing so you can see more of my stuff. If you want the deck list, it is in the description of this video, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for taking the time, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.